This week's best MMA bets, we're talking UFC Saudi Arabia. I'm going to give you guys my lock of the week, my most confident picks on the card. We'll talk favorite underdogs. We'll talk Degen Props, and then we'll finish it out with the parlays and, of course, the Degen Parlays. So make sure you guys smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and make sure you share the video as well. Last week was a massive letdown. Went with Garrett Armfield and he got strangled. I swear right now, there is a hex on the lock of the week. So something different has to happen this week. Now, I did call a most valuable money line of Miles Johns who hit. So the damn most valuable money line seems like a pretty A-tier call from me that maybe I got to keep doing as a consistent thing to add to that favorite dog section. This week, I'm bringing the Thunder. And I'm ready to come back with a mean vengeance. So without further ado, the lock of the week.
You know, we're in for a rough weight cut.
You stick it down your pipe hole.
Holy what are the odds of this? We locked Gastelum last night. And it all goes to shambles because he can't make the 170-pound mark. Said he had an awful camp, and now they're moving the fight to 185. Burrito-eating Kelvin Gastelum was my lock, and he is supposed to be my lock. He was a very confident pick on this card. But I swear to you, I think there is some type of hex on lock of the week right now that I need to break. So I'm going to do something that I've never done before. In this other flat cap, because luck is on our side, I have the names of some of my favorite picks on this UFC Saudi Arabia card. We have favorites, we have close money lines, even essentially, and even an underdog in there. I am going to shuffle through and randomly choose one. I'll hint to you guys, Gastelum is still in there, so maybe he remains the lock, but if not, I need a little luck from the universe. So you know what? To get rid of the lock of the week hex, I'm going to pick something random out of this damn hat right now on stream. Let's see. We got this right here. Who is it? Are you fucking kidding me? Kelvin Gastelum. We're keeping it. That's crazy. That's crazy. I had so many names in here. This was random as hell, guys. That's insane. Out of the hat, we got Gastelum staying as the lock. I'm not changing it now. That's the reassurance that I needed. Holy hell. I'm actually shocked that Gastelum was the pick because I had, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 names in here? I had 7 different names in here. And instead, Kelvin Gastelum is staying. Fuck it. Kelvin Gastelum, to prove to you I'm not fucking around. I had Naimov there, okay? We had Aliskerov there, okay? I'm not going to spoil everything. Had a Shara Bullet, but you had to add a parlay piece. The lock stays Gastelum. That is crazy, man. Wow. I'm actually really surprised. So Kelvin Gastelum's still the lock. Forget about what they're saying about him having weight-cutting issues. He's the better fighter than D-Rod. The worry is going to be that he didn't take this camp seriously, that he goes out there and maybe gasses. But when has Kelvin Gastelum looked that bad at 185? It hasn't happened before. Kelvin Gastelum has went distance against Rob Whittaker, Jared Cannonier, Adesanya, all at 185. I would say he's better at 185 pounds than he ever was at 170. And D-Rod is at 185, completely unproven. I think Kelvin Gastelum's got a great chance to win this fight at 185. And I think destiny of the lucky flat cap lock is also on our side because I'm sticking with it. It's a double lock now because it was my initial call and it was the luck of the universe giving it to us. So a little superstition in the mix. I'm still riding with Kelvin Gastelum. Minus 230 for Gastelum money line. Over 2.5, minus 265. And decision is minus 105. So Kelvin Gastelum remains the lock. And you know what? Good. Good. I'm glad that nothing changed. Because if it did change and then he ended up winning and I lost with a different lock, I'd probably be pretty irritated on stream. So you know what? It works out for the best. Kelvin Gastelum, this week's lock. He's a chalky locky. But don't worry. I have a most valuable money line that I'll be calling during the favorite underdog section, which I think you guys will like. So let's jump to now the most confident picks. I had some of these most confident picks in the rabbit hat but they didn't get pulled. They're still confident calls. I'll bring them up on screen. We have Magomedov, Magomed Gadzhiesulov, and Nasrat Haqparast. Now, just seeing one of them being larger here doesn't mean I'm more confident in them. It's just, to fit the screen with the graphics, 3 instead of 4 most confident picks like the usual, because I had to be honest this week. I was going to drop Cedric Dumas, but he pulled out. So I lost a high confidence call, and I didn't want to fill it in with some fraudulent call that I was not feeling. Because I think there's some overly large favorites, specifically Renat Fakhretdinov. And Renat Fakhretdinov left a real bad taste in my mouth last time that I lost with him, because he broke my 10 lock streak. He did a damn draw when I had 9 in a row. So I got to get back to double digits. There have been amazing lock streaks, and I think this week we're getting back on track. But this is most confident picks. Shara Bullet Magomedov is going to destroy Tricoli. He's a minus 700 favorite. I think he definitely should win. The under 1.5 is minus 140. That's likely as well. Now, we don't have a loaded prop segment just yet for this fight. I've looked for it, didn't find it, but I like Shara Bullet by KO. That's a high confident call. He is way better than Mackenzie Dern's boyfriend, Antonio Tricoli. Let's jump to the next one. Magomed Gadzhiesulov, minus 310. This could have easily been a lock. He was in that rabbit hat. And honestly, I was kind of maybe hoping, Gadzhiesulov, so I can call it Chalky Locky purely on the luck of the hat. He's honestly got a great chance of winning. It's just, I will say you should hedge a little bit for Brenson Hibero by knockout, especially in the first round, if you're feeling it, just simply because Hibero's got the reach advantage and he can definitely crack. But Gadzhiesulov is a technically superior guy, and he's also got the X factor of the wrestling. Now, he's a big favorite, minus 310, inside distance, minus 225. If you're chasing value, him winning by submission isn't crazy because he recognizes that Hibero is a savage in the pocket. He could land takedowns, control, and maybe wear out a Hibero and jump on that rear naked. So, potentially a sub at plus 425. Magomed Gadzhiesulov is a very confident pick for me. Next up, Nasrat Haqparast, the doppelganger of Kelvin Gastelum. So I almost just auto-flipped Haqparast in with my worries of Kelvin Gastelum, though that's not what we're going to be doing. Haqparast is still high confidence. Minus 230 Haqparast. I do think he's going to beat Jared Gordon. We have a Haqparast who's young at 28 and consistently getting better. I think he's en route to win in this fight. The over 2.5 sits at minus 210. I think this thing's going long. And decision win for Haqparast, plus 125. Where does Gordon really have an advantage? Distance striking Haqparast, combination speed Haqparast, maybe wrestling for Gordon, but offensively, I'll be shocked if he goes out and out-wrestles Nasrat. So Nasrat Haqparast to win, I think, is a pretty A-tier call. I'm picking him minus 230, the favorite, high confidence. I do want to jump to the favorite underdog section, and then following this, I'm going to drop a most valuable money line, which is actually a slight underdog too. We have Ikram Aliskerov, Alexander Volkov, Kyung-Ho Kang, and we have Chang-Ho Lee. I think these are 4 solid underdogs. Obviously, more risk on the biggest dog with Volkov at plus 200, taking on a killer in Sergey Pavlovich. But if he survives that first round, I think he's got a great chance to win. Now, to go more in order, Aliskerov plus 130. He's fighting Rob Whittaker. I am picking him to win, but recognize you're playing with fire, because Aliskerov has never fought someone like Rob Whittaker. But I will throw this right back at the people that are on Whittaker. Has Whittaker fought somebody like Aliskerov with that dangerous wrestling pressure style? Aliskerov's a tough fight, man, and he's at this point unknown as far as like how good is he right now. I do know he has the wrestling that could potentially give Rob Whittaker trouble. I do know he has the pressure that could give Rob Whittaker trouble. But Whittaker's definitely the slicker striker, the quicker striker, more precise from the outside, better counter-punching abilities. I understand the love for Rob Whittaker, but I'm calling Aliskerov. Now, I won't lie to you. Playing this one with props, you're really just trying to risk it all. If you want to go Aliskerov and you're thinking submission win, that sits all the way up at plus 700. That's a big tag. But I do think he's live to lock up a sub here. Aliskerov. Next, Volkov. Sergey Pavlovich is going down. Alexander Volkov as the underdog here. Now, how does he win? It's probably this fight lasting more than a round. So let me tell you guys something. I have a little idea that I've been wanting to say all week, okay? You have Pavlovich wins in round 1, plus 130. Maybe that's your light hedge so you don't, take an absolute fucking walk in hell if Volkov gets destroyed. Not a horrible idea. I think Volkov could potentially win by second round knockout or submission. If he gets to the ground with Pavlovich, could be interesting. I will say Pavlovich looks suspiciously jacked during this week's photos, and there was a post running through Twitter where he looks like he's back on steroids. So this underdog call has me a little worried. The reason that I liked Volkov is because he had trained with Pavlovich, and he knows if you can survive a first round, Pavlovich could potentially be, dead water in round number 2. We'll find out. Volkov, dangerous heavyweight underdog pick. Good luck. Don't bet it too fucking crazy. That fight's insane. Next one, Kyung Ho Kang. But Gafarov's 0-2 in the UFC, Kang is 8-4 in the UFC. What has Gafarov done that tells me he's going to beat Kang? Zilch. Zero. Absolutely nothing. I don't think that Moin Gafarov is that good. I think that Kang can win, striking from the outside, fending off takedowns. I'm sure it's going to be close. Most likely going over 2.5, which is minus 185. And Gafarov is probably going to lose on the scorecards. But granted, we're in Saudi Arabia, so if it's close, it could go Gafarov's way by decision. So you get my worry a little bit. But Kang by decision plus 215. We've seen some bad decisions lately. I'm sure in Saudi Arabia, we're getting at least one bad decision, and it very well could be this fight. Because Gafarov, the Muslim fighter, is going to have, a slight sway from the officials, man. Because we're in Saudi Arabia for the first time with the UFC at Riyadh season. We don't know what the officiating is exactly going to look like. I'm expecting good referees, but you never know with the judging. So a little bit of a worry. I do think Kang wins the fight, but does he win the decision? That's just a little bit of a fear of mine. Still, good underdog call. Next, Chang Ho Lee. Good underdog. I think Chang Ho Lee wins a real scrappy fight with Long Xiao. I think Lee's the better wrestler. I think he's a valuable dog, and you'll actually see his name in the parlay section. I had him as a rabbit in the hat because I thought, you know what? Lee's one of my more favorite picks on the card. And he was close to being my most valuable money line, and he easily could alternate in for the most valuable money line. You'll find that out in a minute. I think Lee gets a decision over Long Xiao. I think he outworks him. I think he's a good even line here at minus 105 range. Lee to win by a decision plus 210. Give me Chang Ho Lee for the victory. Now, those are my favorite underdogs per se, but not necessarily my favorite overall because there is one more. I have a most valuable money line. I did this last week with Miles Johns, and he hit beautifully. I'm doing it again this week, and I have it with Muhammad Naimov over Felipe Lima. I don't know how Naimov is a minus 170 underdog right now. How? As good as Lima is as a prospect, he's a bantamweight. He's unproven at the high level. Naimov's 3-0 in the UFC. He's 3 inches taller. He knocked out Jamie Malarkey at lightweight. He's got wrestling base too. And are you telling me Felipe Lima's the guy to beat him in a debut on 3 days' notice? And the line is even? I don't understand this unless Naimov has some weird injury going on. I think that Lima's dead. Felipe Lima was supposed to fight in July, the 20th of July, so about a month after this fight is going to take place. He was scheduled to fight, and it was at 135 pounds. So this is at 145. You have to favor Naimov all day. Naimov is a confident pick for me, and I think he's a great call. Minus 107 for Naimov. Now, as far as Naimov to win, how does he get it done? Probably decision, upwards of plus 250, even plus 350. But I think Naimov pulling through is a pretty A-tier call. Minus 107 range is the favorite. I give it to Muhammad Naimov. I think victory will be his. And I think he's a most valuable money line. Lima's good on the ground, though. I like his game. At bantamweight, I'm so excited for the future. It's just right now, taking out Naimov on day's notice, upper weight class, I don't see it. Naimov, a most valuable money line. Let's jump to the Degen Props, which honestly is never that Degen. I actually think Johnny Walker is live to go over a round and a half at minus 170. But you know what? I don't recommend playing it. Honestly, thinking of it now, I had it beforehand, but it's risky as hell, man, because Walker could club Volkan Oezdemir. Walker to win is even money. Then there's a Walker KO line, which sits at upwards of plus 230. But I really will tell you guys, I don't love this section this week. I think it's just high risk territory. Like, I'm looking at some of these overs of what's available. And like, the problem with this section is we already talk props in all the other sections. So I have to find etc. to give you. And that sometimes can lead to BS. And I don't want to BS you guys. I don't really love anything outside of what I already said. Now, sure, could you go, hey, I like Fakhretdinov to win. You think it goes distance? You think Fakhretdinov decision? Maybe plus what? 100? He's a huge money line favorite, but he's risky, man. Over 2.5 there is live at minus 205 simply because of Dalby's toughness. But I ain't risking it on the Fakhretdinov money line after last time. Absolutely not. But those are the pseudo Degen props of the night. I do want to jump to the next segment, which is the parlays to play. This segment right here has got to be my personal favorite, and I think many of yours as well. So at the top, we have a safe call. Sharabulit Magomedov and Gadzi Yasulov at minus 195. I would say that's relatively safe. If you want to add a little more steam to it, you go plus 115. Now, I don't have it listed out here, but if you didn't like the side of Gadzi Yasulov, you could potentially do a Hakparas Magomedov line, and you'll get actually a better than a minus 195 if you put those two together. Something worth mentioning. Now, I have an alternate call. Value line, we have Naimov and Lee to win, plus 290. Two guys that I think will end up performing like larger favorites than the odds have them, because they're actually slight underdogs. Next up, we have Magomedov, Gadzi Yasulov, Hakparast, and the most valuable money line, which is Naimov, which sits at plus 330. And then we have Aliskerov, Gadzi Yasulov, Magomedov, and Naimov. If you want a little underdog love in your lineup, you get plus 595 for that one. Obviously, you got to have faith that Aliskerov at the top is the one to pull through, but it does have a possibility happening. Now, I do have an alternate. The lock and his doppelganger, Kelvin Gastelum and Nasrat Hakparast. Put these two savages together, you're looking at plus 106. And I think there's a good chance that these two actually do come through with one another. I like the plus 106 there. I got a good feeling. I got a hunch that this plus 106 is quite live. And I think the universe might be agreeing on this one right here. I don't think it's a bad idea. Now, I had the rabbit in the hat earlier. So I figured, let's see if I can just rabbit in the hat something completely random that I didn't already talk about. I might as well have some fun with it because we got the hat right here. I'm going to pick two legs right now. So, I guess I got two. Hakparast. It was Hakparast and Aliskerov. Interesting. So this is the lucky draw parlay of the night. Hakparast, Aliskerov, live on the show. Let's see if we can find line. Aliskerov, obviously plus money. Hakparast as a little bit of a chalky favor. You got plus 228 for these two. Aliskerov there and Hakparast there. Check out my beautiful handwriting. I am an absolute artist. All right, let's jump to the next segment, which is the Degen Parlays. Degeneracy. Holy shit, good luck with the Degen Parlays. These are risky, man. Hakparast by decision. Gadzi Yasulov, Magomedov, Naimov, and Lee. So you're really chasing plus money, plus 1,255, but I do think it's a heavy hitter. Now, if you have Hakparast, decision, Gadzi Yasulov, Magomedov, Naimov, Lee, but you add in the main event, Aliskerov, plus 3,015. And now if you have the same thing, copy and paste it down again, but you believe in Johnny Walker. I'm a Johnny Walker fan, so I had to do one with him. You have plus 5,900. That is straight degeneracy. But maybe some degeneracy can come through for you savages sitting at home. We shall find out. Now, because I did the random lay in the hat, I don't have one for the parlay section. I think that just what we already did is money. For the Degen parlay section, it's already pretty damn degenerate. I don't think I need to make anything too much crazier than what's on the screen here. But I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode of this week's Best MMA Bets. Apologies about it being a day late. I had the money line yesterday, which is normally today. And then I also was just sick, man. I was feeling like shit. And I said, you know what? I got to get my head straight before I figure everything out. And I am grateful that I waited because of the Gastelum news. But listen, the lucky hat says, this is the alternate flat cap. It says Gastelum's going to win. And I have faith in that flat cap. I believe it. So make sure you guys smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the picks in the comments down below. And definitely drop your lock of the week as well. I want to hear what the people are locking up. Thank you guys for watching. W's in the comments if you got nothing to say. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.